Good morning. We invite you to find your seats and center yourselves in preparation of this morning's service. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Columbia. My name is Mark Drews, and I'm honored to serve as today's service leader. Our minister is the Reverend Stephen Robinson, who on those Sundays when he's not here, the worship committee pulls together a service, pulling together people from the congregation as well as outside the congregation to inspire, enlighten, and leave us with a charge to do something. Today, those folks are Al Black and his friends, a group of poets who will introduce themselves as they come forward and share as part of today's Poetry Church. We stream all of our services on YouTube as well as Zoom, and you're always welcome to join us here or online at home or wherever you feel most comfortable. For more about the UUCC, please visit us at uucolumbia.org. You can also follow us on Facebook and Instagram, and every Thursday you receive a bulletin, an update, sharing what's happening in the congregation. We warmly welcome all families with children as well as provide daycare in the nursery. We also are looking for volunteers. If you are interested in volunteering, please see Bethany Strelasi, who will go ahead and get you signed up to be a part of the experience in the nursery. We also have an area that's designated for children 4 to 7 and their parents in the congregation. Feel free to bring the toys that are in the back into that area, and for the adults who are sitting up close, if you need a toy, go ahead and grab one yourself. Today, we're going to be singing the children out at the end of this, at the end of the story For All Service of All. For all ages, that's what they are, they're ages. The song lyrics are in the order of service, and we're asking all of us to go ahead and make use of those words and sing the children out. The flowers are thanks to our friends on the worship committee that are part of a flower team. Thank you, Mara, and again, all those who bring light and flowers to the service. Today we'll begin with our prelude with poetry by singer and songwriter Katie Godfrey.
I'm very excited to be here today. My name is Katie Godfrey. I got into songwriting about maybe a year and a half ago now. And thanks to Al, he really gave me a jumping board to share some of my stuff. Lately, I've been a little bit creatively silent. So I'm feeling kind of reflective today, and I'm very happy to be here. So this is a song I wrote called Change in My Pocket. I need to put some change in my pocket and listen to it rattle around. I got to put some change in my pocket. How I long to hear that sound. Won't you come in front porch, sit with me? 'Cause I can't afford to take us out to eat. I have to provide for my family. It's beans and rice and beans these days for me. I need to put some change in my pocket. I'm gonna put some change in my pocket and listen to it rattle around. Need to put some change in my pocket. How I long to hear that sound. change from my pocket. I put a little change in my pocket. Just listen to it rattle around. Finally got some change in my pocket. How I love to hear that sound. Well, I guess I'll go and work till I'm 70 and give my family everything they think they need. It will be like my whole life will pass by me. Hey, at least I'll draw Social Security and have a little change in my pocket. Need to put some change in my pocket and listen to it rattle around. I've got to put some change in my pocket. How I long to hear that sound. So I'll go and work my full 8-hour day. It's okay that they passed me for that raise, 'cause I can't take it all with me anyway. You see, the kids are laughing and we talk about our day. I'm glad I put that change in my pocket. So put a little change in your pocket and listen to it rattle around. Go on and put that change in your pocket. Hang out, be present, come around. Go on and put that change in your pocket.
Thank you, Katie. Joining me are Chuck and Alyssa, and if you would, please stand for our congregational covenant that is found in your order of service. Love is the doctrine of this congregation. The quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge and freedom, serve others in community, thus to be covenant with one another. Thank you. Unitarian Universalism is a diverse and non-creedal religion. Our community is based on deeds, not creeds. We are a covenantal religion, which means we don't need to believe the same in order to treat each other the same, with respect, dignity, compassion, and equity. We place love at the center of all our values, embracing all people. Our board members and committee chairs welcome your questions and concerns. Board members wear green name tags. We're delighted at this time to welcome any guests that are with us today. And Alyssa will take a second step in her involvement in the service and take the microphone around. If you would, wait for her to get there and introduce yourself and where you're from.
Good morning. My name is Cynthia Fleming Tyler, and I'm from Goodwill Baptist Church, which is located in Eastover, South Carolina.
I'm her sister, Barbara Fleming Weston, and I'm also from Goodwill Baptist Church in Eastover, South Carolina. and I'm glad to be with you today in your service. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Barbara.
Welcome.
Good morning. This is my friend Andrea Thorpe, and she's from Columbia, South Carolina, just giving us a tryout.
Well, thank you.
I am Nick Godfrey. I am Katie Godfrey's husband. So I came here to listen to her perform. And this is my wonderful daughters, Penny and Lucy. So that's half our kids that we have. Our two children are working at Pilgrim Lutheran Church. That's where we normally attend. But we're very excited to be here to visit this wonderful church and to be able to hear Katie perform today. So
Beautiful. Thank you, Godfrey family.
Oh, no, I think someone else wanted to. Oh, sorry. Oh, it's okay. Oh, okay.
Thank you, Alyssa. And thank you all for being with us. If you want to know more about our congregation, there are visitor information cards in the back of the chair in front of you. Please fill one out and include it in the collection plate, and you can be a part of our community by way of receiving emails or messages at that time. 3 times the charm, so we're going to ask Alyssa to come back up and to light the chalice, and as part of that chalice lighting, she will go ahead and share a poem with us. Spirit of light and life, come unto us.
Hi, everyone. My name is Elisa Giro. I am 14 years old, and I'm part of the CYRE. And today, I have a poem that I wanted to share with you guys. I'm going to try to put this microphone so you can hear me. It's not the best, but yeah. We are the stars shining in the dark night sky. We are nothing alone. Community keeps us alive. Every star burns differently. Some are big and some are small. But despite our differences, we share our love to all. We aim to be as bright as the sun that shines before us. We open our hearts to knowledge of those we're not sure of. We acknowledge the broken stars and the stars that have been forgotten. We pick them up and show them off in hopes you might spot them. Even in our pride and confidence, we acknowledge we're not alone. The moon, the sky, the rocks, the earth, we're nothing without our home. We are the stars shining in the dark night sky. We are nothing alone. Community keeps us alive.
Thank you, Alyssa. And our opening poetry, is she? Okay.
Good morning, everyone. I will say I'm nervous. I'm not used to speaking in front of this large of a group, but my name is Lorinda, also known as Morinike Love. That's my poet name. Often speak on love, so this is just so appropriate. And so I would like to share with you, it's not so much of a poem, but more of a think piece, I like to call it. So, no title. It's really just about gratitude, thinking about gratitude. When people are asked what they're thankful for, usually they'll say family, having a roof over their heads, having food in their belly, having friends, that God woke them up early this morning, having use of their limbs, waking up in their right mind, having the ability to walk, and that they have a job to go to. So I tried to empty my mind of those typical responses And then I thought in the reverse, like, what are people not thankful for? Sounds strange, I know, but bear with me. It brought back memories of my auntie's last days in 2015 as she was dying from cancer. In those last days, while she was her most uncomfortable and most miserable, she'd wake up each morning saying, "Oh, hell, I'm still here." She made us laugh too. And then she'd ask God, why? Now, most people might say that they're grateful to wake up in the morning to see another day. And some would say that my auntie was wrong for not being thankful every day that God allowed her to wake up. I look at it a little differently. In my auntie's case, I'm sure she and God had an understanding. So I decided to be still and think, sorry, I haven't talked about that in a while, so it just kind of hit me. Ooh. So I decided to be still and think about what I have not been thankful for. That might sound a little ungrateful, but sometimes we neglect to examine the negative perspectives and therefore can't paint a full picture of gratitude. So here's my list that I pondered on for a moment. My list of what I'm not thankful for, by the way. Chronic pain, the hardship of being a single mom, each and every heartbreak I've experienced, vomiting to the point of dehydration, then having no doctor able to figure out why after 3 hospitalizations, not being able to bear any more children, losing my newborn son to a birth defect. Okay, I'm not gonna be that down the whole time. It gets better. Being allergic to chocolate, not fun. Anytime I believed I was inadequate or incapable because people I trusted said so. Anytime I was treated differently or unfairly because I'm brown-skinned, a woman, or of lower economic status, and sometimes all 3. So then I flipped it back in my mind again. Well, some of the list items are no longer an issue. Some of it, well, obviously it's not the not being able to get pregnant, because once that's done, that's done. Anyway, some of it I've learned to cope with or manage. None of them have been a constant in my existence, though. I've also had the capability and willingness to support friends and family who've experienced much worse than my soul could even bear. I wouldn't call that a blessing so much as a lesson. And so now I can say most definitely, I am grateful for this gift of life. But not just having life itself. I'm grateful for the joy, the love, the fun and good times I've been blessed to enjoy. And even the bad times that God gave me it's a lesson. And even the bad times where God gave me lenses through which I could see what is actually a blessing that I can heal through, that allows me to love even deeper and to just be more appreciative. And finally, to be able to be grateful for God. That was that.
Thank you. We are all grateful. And this time, Anna, would you introduce our opening hymn?
Our opening hymn is in the gray hymnal, number 128, For All That Is Our Life. I invite you to rise in body or spirit to join in singing. each other serve, for services we give, for work and its rewards, for hours of rest and love, we come with praise and thanks. For all that is our life, for sorrow we must bear, for failures, pain, and loss, for each new thing we learn, for fearful hours that pass, we come with praise and thanks. For all that is our life, for all that is our life, we sing our thanks and praise. For all life is a gift which we are called to use to build the common good and make our own days glad.
Thank you, Anna. Please be seated. This time, I'd like to go ahead and ask the children to all come down for our story for all ages at the end of the service. At the end of the service. And Al Black will be sharing the story of all service, a poem entitled A Run-On Sentence in Time of Rain.
And my name's Al Black, and I looked at the poem I originally gave him and decided it might be a little heavy for talking to the children. So I've taken parts of that poem and I've changed it to In the Park. Wow, there's a lot of you. How many of you write poetry? Many of you will in the future. On its way to a park across the street, a turtle slowly traverses our yard, steps off the curb, crosses the street, and disappears into dry leaves. I wonder what drew it to our yard and what summoned it to return home, and how it knew what direction to go, and I wish my life was that simple. I wonder if it missed other turtles in the woods, and if it will miss our yard. I wonder how turtles live without Wi-Fi, TV, and video games inside the homes they carry on their backs. I wonder if turtles worry about immigrant turtles immigrating to their park. Or if they know that if they only take what they need, there is enough for all the turtles who visit the park. Do they know that if they don't rush and keep moving slowly forward in the right direction, they will arrive where they need to be, and that there is always enough for other turtles in need? And I wonder if America keeps moving slowly forward in the right direction, will we arrive at where we need to be? And will we learn there is always enough to share? Thank you.
Thank you, Al.
You have a question? What's the answer? Because I need all the answers in life I can get.
Turtles know their way home because their
born on the place, and then they came back to the same place they were born to lay the eggs.
Well, from the mouths of babes. Oh, one more. Hi there, buddy. Oliver?
Why did the chicken cross the road?
He was following the turtle.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Good, go ahead.
If I may, please. Hey there, I'm Nancy Shillington Perez, Miss Nancy, some of you know me as. And as I look at these large amount of little elves I have before me, I wonder if I could ask them to ask their parent or caregivers to help this little thing out. What do I have in here? Who's this? Santa! Santa might need a little help on December the 7th. If you could ask your parent or caregiver to bring you, they'll have to leave you here and be with us so we could do some secret work with little Santa. So all of you little elves, if you could come that day to CYRE, because from 11 to 2 that day, we'll have a drop-off. We'll provide lunch and snacks and all kind of shopping for family members or dear other people. If you'd like to bring your child or grandchild or dear little friends, elves, we'd love to have you. Just please sign up with me if you would, please. That's with the CYRE program. That's the Children and Youth Religious Exploration Program. Sorry, I'm all of a sudden blanked. So that's Saturday, December the 7th from 11 to 2. Thank you so much.
And Nancy, I have a quick question. For adults and others that want to contribute to the array of gifts,
Oh, thank you. Yes, that's actually been going really well. We've had lots of people give some donations, but if you have any more donations to share, that would be fantastic. That would help our little elves find the absolute perfect gift to give to those loved ones. Thank you, Mark.
and who do they bring them to?
They could drop them off with myself or Bethany or our DYRE. There's Bethany right back there raising her hand. Our DRE, our Director of Religious Exploration, that's Amelia. She's back in the back there. Anyone in the CYRE group, that would be great. And actually bubble wrap, if any of you happen to have some extra bubble wrap. Do you have a question,
Super.
Oliver? What's that? What's your question? What do you have? Something in his pocket. All right. Not quite sure. Here shortly, we're going to sing this children out today. You have a special little, is that an acorn
Special
in there?
acorn.
Fantastic.
Awesome.
I'm glad you showed that to us all.
Well,
Thank you so very much.
Thank you, Miss Nancy and Oliver, too. And at this time, let's sing the children to their religious exploration class.
Learn your lessons well, my children. Seek your truth in the wide unknown. Love each other, work together, and search for wisdom and happiness.
Thank you. We've come to a part of our service we refer to as Candles of Community. If you have a personal joy or concern that you'd like to share from the pulpit, please share it with the minister by Friday afternoon. You can also pick up candles in the foyer as you enter the sanctuary. That's done before the service. I want to remind everybody that we also have a caring committee that is there for all of us. If there's any concerns that you have, to reach out to any members. They wear yellow name tags. We also have received a couple candles that we'd like to go ahead and light first. First is from Linda McLeod, who's lighting a candle in memory of her brother, John Tuck Nispani, known as to his family as Tuck. Tuck passed away last Sunday at the age of 84 due to complications with dementia. Linda and Tuck grew up together, a second part of a family of 6. and they developed a natural bond with each other. Even though he lived in Eugene, Oregon, they continued their bond their entire life, maintaining weekly phone calls, conversations, discussing the spiritual lives and rich memories. Linda knew how Tuck longed for to reach the end of his life and knew that his journey would become more difficult. To think clearly, to write sensibly, and to take those daily walks discovering the marvels that were around him. She'll miss those phone calls, text messages, conversations, but those memories will last forever. So this first in behalf of Tuck Bonnie. We also light a candle of concern from Joan Watterson, who shared that we have new joints in town. Those joints include both hip and knee. Liz Turner had a new hip surgery this past week, and Kate Heald also received a brand new knee. So we'll take this candle and light it on behalf of joints everywhere. At this time, I'd like to ask John Storino to come up and share his first joy of concern or joy in poetry.
Thank you, Mark. Yes, my name is John Storino, and I'm going to light this candle in celebration. Over 20 years ago, when I first came to this fellowship, I was a member of the Cups group. So as an acknowledgement, I will give you, I walk in the meadow. I walk in the meadow of your smile. Feel the gentle breeze rustle through my hair. Lavender buds sway, their pungent aroma pierce my nasal passages. Warm breath of the sun radiate my skin so the breeze does not chill. Hug me inside. Sparrows call to one another over the symphony of grasses. One lands on my shoulder, beckons in my ear, the cool brook that flows ahead to quench my thirst. Dear mother, I walk in the meadow of your smile.
This is our weekly last pre-Thanksgiving discussion. And first I'd like to thank Bill Dolly, who is contributing a turkey, even though he will be near Mobile, Alabama, in some town I can never remember the name of. But he's contributing a turkey, and we will have hopefully adequate food of every kind. The only thing that we still need, which we will prepare if nobody else does, but if anybody wants to contribute either mashed potatoes or gravy, please let myself or the other two people who are involved with this, that you are willing to do that. Otherwise, don't worry, we will have mashed potatoes and gravy. Also, since this is Poetry Day, I had to write, while I was sitting there, a quick poem. We will happily greet all who come and love to eat for Thanksgiving. And think we will give for the way we live on Thanksgiving. So that's my poetry. So,
Thank you, Larry.
so involved with my poetry, I forgot to put the candle out.
Good morning. I'm Mike Sullivan. I want to light a candle in memory of Ann Johnson. I was very sorry to have missed the email about her memorial service the other day. Ann was a 3-time president of our congregation, and I looked up the dates, and it's remarkable to me the story they tell. She served as president first from 1981 to 1982. I was just finishing graduate school at the time in New York. I had no knowledge of Ann. I think people like Pat did. She next served as president from 1999 to 2000. And her third term, when I was on the board, she served from 2012 to 2013. Really, that's 3 generations of generosity and leadership that she gave to our congregation. I mean, it takes a lot of dedication and generosity to step up in the role of president, and to do it twice, no less 3 times, is really remarkable. When I got to know Ann serving on the board, I was so impressed by how compassionate and caring she was. She was a very accepting and respecting person, which is very well suited to her profession of being a social worker. She was conciliatory, she was a consensus builder. She really had a very calm and therapeutic presence about her. One of the things I love about living in a small city like Columbia, being from big cities and living in big cities, is getting to run into people you know in different places. Ann and I would bump into each other quite often at the Charles Drew Wellness Center swimming pool. She was going there for rehabbing, and I was just going there for swimming. The last time I bumped into Ann a few months ago was at the Rosewood Market, and it was so wonderful to catch up with her. She was at so much peace with her life, and she knew her time left was short, but she had lived to see the important family milestones that she wanted, and she was loving all the books she was reading. Ann had no use for TV whatsoever. I'm not even sure she owned one, but she really knew how to spend her time. And I feel grateful for having known her, and our congregation truly is grateful for her service.
Thank you, Mike.
I'm Kevin McKinney, co-chair of Social Action, and I have a candle of gratitude. We had the privilege last Tuesday of hosting, as part of Social Action's pilot program of involvement with the More Justice organization in our community, hosting a training. So I'm very grateful that that happened. I'm grateful to the president board and our wonderful administrator Cindy for sorting out some last minute glitches we had and making sure it could go ahead as it did without a glitch. I'm grateful to the members of the other 6, I think it was 6 congregations who attended, who shared their stories, their insights, and really, truly their hearts with us as part of that training. I'm grateful for the folks from our congregation who participated similarly and were such wonderful co-hosts for the event. And lastly, and I'm going to get a little poetical here, but only a little bit, I'm deeply grateful for the tender, fragile, and infinitely promising green shoots of connection that we nurtured during that training.
Thank you, Kevin.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Bud Ashley, and we have a happy, 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 joy, joy, joy. My wife just had a hernia surgery, and she's doing very well from that. I have seen my skin doctor, and I had some malignant skin cancers that have been removed, and I've also got some medicine to help kill off all the precancerous that I have. But the biggest joy we have today is our son Jesse is finally going to be moving to Neurorestorative, a rehabilitation center in Georgia that understand his brain damage, and he won't be punished for having brain damage. He hasn't been in the right places for 8 years, and we are extremely happy that he's going to be moving there and getting all the help and therapy that he needs.
Thank you for sharing, Bud.
Hi, I'm Kate Noel Wells. I was really hoping to have some good news for you today. I injured my knee about a week and a half ago, and I was hoping it was a nothing burger and I could say that, but does not seem to be the case. The orthopedist said I had multiple meniscus tears, including one that was quite bad and would need surgery. So that is currently on the books, but since that appointment, the radiologist has come back and said, actually, this is a total ACL tear. So I'm going in again this week to figure out what's even the latest and what we need to do, but it sounds like I have at least one surgery and a very long recovery ahead of me. So I hate the onus that puts on my family too, like so close to the holidays. But while I'm here, I'll end on a good note. I do have a joy as well. For many years now, a big part of my professional life has included writing, and it's always been in the academic spaces, including co-authoring a textbook. But a couple years ago, when my husband was deployed, I went very off-brand and wrote a kid's book, and it is getting published as of a couple weeks ago. So yeah, thank you. So it'll be out next summer, but I'm really enjoying the process and just having kind of a passion project in the works.
Thank you, Kate. And we light this one final candle for those joys and concerns that remain silent in our hearts. Before the silent meditation, let us hear from our next poet.
So I need, you can't hear me, right? Okay. Yeah. I think I can hold it. Okay. My name is Michal Rubin. I live in Colombia. I'm Israeli. And a therapist and a cantor and a whatever else, and a mother. And all my writing has to do with the Palestinian-Israeli conflict. So that's what I will be reading. And mostly now you will see I engage with Palestinian poetry, or I'm in the process of building a group of poets, Palestinians and Jewish poets together that engage with each other through poetry. I would also appreciate, I will read a few poems. Don't clap between, it doesn't work for these poets. In her refuge collection, she finds a key, a bag of candy for the road before leaving, with a small suitcase, hinges rusted, carriers of mementos. It is laid, the suitcase, small, stashed with others, all shades of ash. Patinated clasps click and squeak, opening and locking, guardians. Black and white photos, faces dissolve into yellow backgrounds, stories remembered and forgotten. On tarped tent floor, she finds the black comb, runs it through her black hair, Desert sand and memories rain on the tent's floor. She sweeps them with her small hand, the sand and her memories. I pledge empty words. Can you hear my calling to the fathers who carry the bodies of sons while sending their second ones for vengeance? I hold dead flowers, remnants of yesterday's funeral. I lay them on the freshly dug grave. I hand the tissue to the crying angels. No one sees. I pledge empty words to the limp body resting with the relief of endings. They fall on the mound of earth, soaked by the silence. One day, someone will come and tell the story I recognize, Mustafa Abu Snene. Do you remember the day you looked me in the eye? You said, "This is not so." And I said, "Yes, but yes, and." So we stared beyond the pupils of our eyes. We marked the stations where we can land together, a pasture of a blank page where we told our stories together. There, I noticed you are missing an eyelash on the right side of your left eye. You blinked, and you noticed the scar on my forehead, the remains of chickenpox that left no scars on you. And we crawled on each other's skin. We noticed the blemish on your shoulder, the scratch on my knee. We touched with our fingers the groove on our foreheads, measured the depth of the story that created the craters on our faces. We mapped each other's tales on our bodies, left the streets nameless, the history dateless. Naked, we carried our stories into the world. The dead can only respond late. It's the right of all victims to defend their screams. Mahmoud Darwish. There are days that I am dead, without screams, silently dead. All the screams are locked. A small prison nestles inside my body. They're safe, the screams. They grow old in their prison. They wilt, become feeble and hoarse. There are days that I'm dead. I become a cemetery, a field of headstones. I water flower beds. Roots are embroidered around the buried howlings. Color masks the silence. Visitors lay small pebbles, reminders. Faded names have no voice. There are days that I am dead. You visit. I offer apple tea. You sit. I sit. My scream stranded in the shadow of yours. You unfold your poem, lay it on my headstone. I unfold my poem, lay it on yours. Two more. Can you withstand? This poem is written by Rafat Al-Arir, who died, I think it was December, in a bombing. I'm you. I'm your past. And killing me, you kill you. Rafat Al-Arir. We enter the hall of death. We lay on the same soil, damp with the memories, yours, mine. The doors slam behind. We abandon living. We engage in the life of death, mine, yours. We wander through our stories, projected on the mirrored walls. We touch the etched details in my story, your story. Our fingers get lost where the wind blew our remains. Yours rained on mine, mine colored yours. Together we dissolve our eulogy, another war. What I'm going to read now is actually a combination of two poems, one by me and one by Basman Derawi, whom I met 9 weeks ago in a class, writing poetry class. Basman is from Gaza. He right now is in Cairo. And we had it was quite incredible to meet him in the class. And it's a Zoom class, obviously. And I think it was quite amazing for him. And we are writing in response to each other. But with his permission, we have embroidered the two of them together, or woven the two of them together. When I hear you say, I'm from Gaza, I fear my blindness. When I hear you say, I'm from Gaza, I fear your blindness. Basman's response. When I hear you say, I'm from Israel, my blood boils. I pull my weapon at the moment, a deep breath, whispering to myself, ready for the war. When I hear you say, I'm from Gaza, I grasp, you're alive, to tell me more. When I hear you say, I'm from Gaza, my shame veils my presence, my face, my ears, my mind are draped with your story. When I hear you say, I'm from Israel, I don't assume the devil sits in front of me smirking, but when I hear you say, I'm from Gaza, I pale. Words inside my body flutter. I'm not bad. I'm not bad. I live and I don't know what to say. I think of a book I must write. When I hear you say, I'm from Israel, I expect to see my blood in your hands, cold and justified. But you open your mouth, then I see none. When I hear you say, I'm from Gaza, I want to imagine the unimaginable. Show me pictures of your street before and after. Name it. Name your neighbors before and after. When I hear you say, I am from Gaza, I think I must paint the screams I don't hear, and that there isn't enough love nor enough red paint, and what colors to use for the silence between cries. When I hear you say, I'm from Israel, and you unzip your chest, handing me your heart, the same heart pumps my humanity. I breathe again. I almost cry. Thank you.
Thank you. Let us join one another in a brief moment of silence. The UUCC proudly participates in Share the Plate. It's an initiative where half of our cash collection each week goes to a local charitable organization. It's our way of giving back to our community. And this month, our recipient is the Harvest Hope Food Bank. We've had a chance to hear Marsha Bacon a couple times. And again, as always, if you'd like to contribute, please include on your check the words Share the Plate in the memo line. And want to thank you always for your contributions. The ushers would please come forward, and we have another opportunity to hear from Katie Godfrey.
So I debated on whether I was going to share this song today because it's just incredibly, incredibly personal. But in the spirit of gratitude, one thing that I'm really grateful for is that I had always harbored this narrative that being a victim was a bad thing or something that you could just overcome, when in reality, it's just a fact. So I sat down as I was deconstructing some things, and I wrote this song about something that happened to me when I was 18 years old. And I wrote this one for my sons more than I wrote it for my daughters, because I don't have any control over what happens in the world, but I do have control what happens around my dinner table and the stuff that we talk about at home. I was leaving work that night. It was late, just past midnight. I saw you coming from the corner of my eye. I didn't know just what to do. I was so afraid of you. So I ran, jumped in my car, and drove away. That was my first mistake. You tried to run me off the road. I drove as fast as my car would go on those back roads. Oh, how I prayed that night to see big, bright blue flashing lights. When they came, I felt so safe. That was my next mistake. Ma'am, I'm sorry for what you've been through tonight. But he just seems so sad 'cause he wants you for his wife. And I can't help it, ma'am, I feel so sorry for his plight. Maybe you could learn to be just a little more polite. My heart screamed silently. Ribbons and bows, pearls and pantyhose, sugar and spice, and all things nice. Well, I guess that comes at such a very hefty price. 'Cause ma'am, I'm sorry for what you've been through tonight. He just seems so sad 'cause he wants you for his wife. And I can't help it, ma'am, I feel so sorry for his plight. Maybe you could learn to be just a little more polite. Maybe you could learn to be just a little more polite.
Thank you, Katie. This time, I'd like to ask Al and Trey to come forward and share How Gratitude Moves Us, spoken word from Trey and poetry from Al.
How's everyone doing? I had a couple of pieces, but my first piece, I'm switching up. Katie, you said something about victim. And before I can, I'm Poet Trey. My real name is Trey Fleming. I got tired of people saying, welcome the poet Trey. So I just put it together. But I am from Columbia. I've been doing poetry. I do stand-up. I'm a writer and currently about to direct my first feature film. Thank you. But I don't have a title for this, but it challenges that victim, being called a victim. You know what I find offensive? When someone hears what I've been through and they call me a victim. Because that's a statistic, a number, a percentage. But I have a name, and victim ain't it. See, my mentality is different. Because you could say that I'm not supposed to be standing here today. And I can understand considering the circumstances. Asking God for second, third, and fourth chances. Not only looking into the eyes of the reaper, but coming face to face with demons. Fighting with all my heart. Have scars and still bleeding. Life is beating my behind, but I'm still breathing. See, you can say that I'm not supposed to be standing here today, but I don't think that way. I gotta keep waking up and even though I'm bruised, get the best out of this life, even though it might not be the one that I choose. See, I can't lose. They say God gives his toughest battles to his strongest soldiers, so I can't be weak, because that means I don't believe. And that should be the day that I leave. So best believe that I will fight no matter what life throws at me, because I don't have a victim's mentality. I am not a consequence of what life has happened to me. I am a champion for the battles that I was able to defeat. So when you speak to me, put some bass in your voice and call me a survivor, because being a victim was never a choice. And that's that piece. This last piece, I wanted to write something where it was kind of structured as a book of life. My struggle with God. I feel like when we study the Bible, we see books of Job, books of Matthew, Mark. So I wrote this as the book of poetry. And so the chapters that I break down are just based on like at the age that I was. So when you hear me say what chapter it is, that's the age of my life. So it starts with chapter 3. And I asked God, why was I born a month late? And he said, they prayed for someone special. And good things come to those who wait. Plus, you're going to love the person who shares that same date. So I said, God, why did my parents split when I was 3? When all my cousins lived with both parents, except me. He said, look around you. Your friends' fathers, they didn't know them. I gave you 2 loving houses, not a broken home. See, they weren't right for each other, but they were right for you. So chapter 16, I asked God, why did you give me 4 siblings when I only asked for 1? He said you wanted a brother or a sister, but you couldn't decide which one. So I gave you both as a blessing. She was born to show you a lesson. He was born for you to set an example. And I saw the love that you had for them, and I gave you 2 more. So I needed some more men like you in this war. Chapter 26. See, it's a long time since I've been talking to God. God, please explain to me why you took her away from me. God said she was in pain, Trey. It was selfish for you to ask her to stay. I said, God, what about my best friend? God said he was ready. His purpose with earth had to end. And I said, God, what about the baby? He said, I'm sorry, but you'll be reminded of it daily. And I said, why did you take them and let her leave? And God said, my son, why don't you trust me? You took her for granted. You needed to learn the hard way how to treat my creations. See, losing her made you learn some appreciation. I just said, God, well, I just want to die. He said, go ahead and try. Chapter 27. 92 pills, God, why am I still here? God said, because I don't have a place for you here. Not yet, your story has just been written. I said, I'm trying to talk to you, God. But see, Trey, you're not listening. I told God I was about believing in him. And he said, don't worry, I believe in you. Chapter 29, I said, God, I finally went to college. But when I walk that stage tomorrow, all I can think about who won't be there. God, see, your job is to pray. My job is to hear. You asked for a career, so I placed the angel to make a call for you. So stop doing for others too much and do it for you. See, I didn't take people away for them not to be replaced. I just need you to look into the mirror and see that you're you and not what you faced. Chapter 32. God, I need you right now. It's my heart. And God said, I know, my son. This is where it starts. It's been a rough night, but you're going to be all right. I said, God, the doctors say it's a heart attack. He said, no, it's not. Your heart is broken. When you give out your love, why doesn't it return? I said, well, God, it's your people. He said, you will never learn. You just don't love yourself like you do everyone else. You lost your spirit, now it's affecting your health. Stop making love to everyone and love yourself. How many times do you have to get it? I got plans for you. I made you into a Superman, but your kryptonite is you. So grab a pen and start writing your pain, and I promise you'll find yourself again. Chapter 35. Okay, God, I know we stopped talking for a minute and things were cool, but I'm down right now and I got no one to turn to. I'm past broken, I'm completely hopeless, and don't nobody know this, but I'm homeless. What you got, big homie? I'm open. He said, my child, you really think that you're defeated? The fight ain't over. This ain't even round 3 yet. I know the world is giving you trauma, but I gave you outlets. You found drama. But you got so good at acting that you just wouldn't let yourself get out. So I sent angels to place pen in your hands to write it out. And you found joy in your pain and you turned it into laughter. But you lost yourself when you let money get the last word. See, where's the rapper? The poet is Shakespeare, a ghetto Shakespeare. But you ain't write what was in here. So find that guy and peace will find you, because I'm telling you, King, you're beautiful. It's now chapter 38. God, I'm back. You were right. He said, well, you know I haven't been known to lie. Because see, upon some reflection, I can now look at my reflection and not see rejection. And God asks, see, that is very good news, but do you have peace? I said, I'm getting there. It just hasn't been easy. See, my issues had me feeling like it will end tomorrow. And God says, my child, how can you turn heartbreak into laughter, but let happiness turn to sorrow? I made moves for you to be comfortable and feel safe, so you would appreciate the man that you came to me as today. See, being born gave you a name to live up to. When it came respect, love, and knowing values. And that person's birthday you share, she taught you how to smile. And the divorce showed you how biology didn't determine family. Your sister was a gift to show you how to treat any woman from girl to womanhood. Your brothers were plenty. Okay, here's the truth. I simply needed more men like you. And remember losing the child? You didn't even want kids. Now look at you now. You lost her because you had to learn from your mistakes. So when you meet her, you won't let her get away. You lost everything, and now you appreciate everything. You came from what you thought was a broken home. My child, I brought you home. I told God I never asked to be happy. But he said you deserved it. So I said, thank you. Amen.
I probably should have gone first so I didn't have to follow that. Whew. I'm going to read a short one and a medium one. This is called Leave a Window Open. My mama would open the southwest windows when dark clouds gathered because she believed the house would not implode during a tornado if the pressure could somehow equalize. Old wives' tales must be true because the house never imploded. And you survived your childhood. But now I fear the coming storm, and I can't sleep unless a window is left open and the fragrances of pardon waft over the entire creation. This is called Talking with Mary. She says she walks to church each morning but does not go to Mass. She says she lights a candle for all of her children ICE took away. She says she talks with the statue of Mary and Mary talks back. She says she avoids confession and the man behind the screen. She said she once threw holy water on a nun, hoping she would melt. She says she dreamed of becoming a virgin again, but not to be holy or pure. She says she wants to be a virgin so men don't own her. She says she wishes she could take her children back and hold them to her breast. She says she talks with the statue of Mary, and Mary talks back. Mary was made into a statue so she couldn't run away to a quaint country village for an anniversary weekend. Mary says she likes lowing cattle, angels singing in the night, and the smell of sheep, dirt, hay, and Joseph. Mary says she is grateful for the 3 strangers at her door and the gold, the frankincense, and myrrh they left. She is thankful for their treasure because she used it to bribe the border guards and keep her baby at her breast. She said she talks with the statue of Mary, and Mary cries.
Loli, would you like to come forward, please, and share the closing poetry?
Hi, everyone. My name is Loli. I'm from Spain. This is my 11th year in South Carolina. I'm a teacher, a poet, and a lot of other stuff, but it's not like this is not Instagram profile telling you everything. I wrote a poem for this moment right now, okay? This morning I started super early writing this poem, and then I realized that I was gonna be late, and I had to finish it like. So I'll ask me, are you happy with the poem? And I say, 80%. And he said, okay, go ahead. Here now in gratitude. This Sunday morning, the air is blue, and the sun is maidenly showing among the trees like an untold secret, like an unspeakable love whose name is called for the first time. Here, between the walls of poetry, gratitude is the word that moves us when nothing else can. For this, I'm grateful. This brand new gratitude is born on a distant land far from my ancestors. I echo their dreams and bring them to port. Here, with you, I'm grateful. I'm grateful for the new faces and various accents. I'm grateful for the stories and the poems shaking the tree. I'm grateful for forgiveness because we all deserve it, even if we don't. I'm grateful for kindness over hostility, for compassion over indifference. I'm grateful for this life, this body, these thoughts, this side of my multiverse. I'm grateful for the books that carry me to unknown worlds and the voices that remind me of home. I'm grateful for the courage to fail and the wisdom to try again. I'm grateful for the hands that hold mine in storms and the silence that teaches me peace. I'm grateful for the music that stirs my spirit and the stillness that grounds my soul. I am grateful for this ephemeral now, this infinite here, this undying gratitude. Thank you all.
Thank you, Loli, and thank you all, poets. This time, Al, would you return to the mic and share your poetic benediction?
I don't know about all of you, but I grew up churched. I grew up in the church. And I went whether I wanted to or not. And in the end, it was good for me. And one of the things I remember most from the Gospels is the Beatitudes. This is called postmodern Beatitudes. Blessed is the morning coffee. Blessed is the sun before the rain. Blessed is the greening tree in spring. Blessed are the flowers that grow wild. Blessed is the garden tabby that consorts with gnomes and stands guard at the gate, rubs against your leg when you are alone. Blessed is the backyard possum that eats ticks and rodents, plays dead when he is scared, and rises from the dead when you look away. Blessed is the squirrel that raids the bird feeder, the cat that chases the squirrel, and the dog that scares the cat. Blessed are the dog walkers who scoop, and the silent leaf blower when your neighbor takes a break. Blessed are the bike riders, the lonely, the young lovers, the skateboarders, the joggers, the mommies pushing strollers, daddies carrying daughters on shoulders, and the moss that grows in the spaces where grass will not grow. Blessed are the truth seekers and those who arise to promote the best interests of the people and kindreds of the earth. Blessed is the pure, kindly, and radiant heart, for theirs is a sovereignty ancient, imperishable, and everlasting. Amen.
Thank you. As we extinguish our chalice at the close of time today, we truly gauge a service by how much it inspires us, how much we learn, but also how much does it call us to action. Today's service, that call of action is to be grateful for all that is good. This time, please rise for our congregational benediction. Thank you. This concludes the service. I want to thank all of our poets, the Godfrey and the Fleming sisters for being with us, and all of you who chose of all the places to be with us here at the UCC. Please, before you leave, take a moment to greet those around you and express that sense of gratitude. See you next week, where we will have Ms. Taylor, Reverend Taylor will be with us. She's with the South Carolinians for Alternatives to the Death Penalty. Thank you.